Could Mark have been in a boy band?
Mark and I were the first two original members of New Kids on the Block. So people think it was like this massive audition with thousands of kids. It really wasn't. Mark and I knew a woman in our neighborhood who knew a music producer, and so we went and met with him, and he said, I want to make a band with you two guys. Mark was a little like break dancer. I was a rapper, and we went in an audition for this guy, and so Mark and I would go to singing lessons and go to the studio. Every weekend we'd go to the studio. Every couple weeknights we'd go to singing lessons. And Mark he wasn't interested in doing it. And he finally dropped out, and it was just me, and the music producer said, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to keep going? I said, yeah, I want to do this. And, I just was having fun, going to the studio, playing the drums and playing with the drum machines and doing different things. And Mark wanted to, steal cars and get in trouble with his friends. So he went and did that. But years later, he started getting in shape, and my mother kept saying, you got to do something to get him out of the streets. And I said, I wanted to do something to prove myself that I wasn't some manufactured puppet in the New Kids. So I started making songs, and I said, Mark, why don't you record these songs? I'll help you get out of the street and have a career, and, I can also do something and sort of prove myself as a musician and not just be considered, some phony boy band guy. So that's how the whole Marky Mark thing came about.
But then he stripped down to his underwear. Did he get grief in the neighborhood for doing the underwear?
No, he didn't get grief in the neighborhood. It was sort of irreverent. He was just really just being like a kid, and being irreverent. I remember the first time he did it, I would take him around to all his first, probably 20 concerts. I would literally book the concert myself, take him to the concert, put his whole show together, and I would talk him through everything. And so he's doing all this stuff that I gave instructions to do, and then out of nowhere he just decides to drop his pants. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? But I was laughing so much. He's a really funny guy. He's probably the funniest person I've ever met in my life. Off camera, I mean, people think his movies are funny, but in real life he really makes me laugh. And he would always do stuff on stage just that would make me laugh out loud. But what was great about it is I knew then that's what was going to make him a star, because he followed all 50 instructions I gave him on how to do his show.
Yeah.
But then he did all this other stuff that he improv'd that I said, this kid, he just has it. He's got the magic.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.